probably going to be our first episode of the Regenerative Farmer.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. My name is Christian Ballard. This is Marky Mark. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
What do you want to know? Let's see. I'm 41. Not the youngest cat on the block. I've lived all over the place. Been into cannabis since I was a teenager. Started smoking weed when I was 15 and never really looked back.
No, that's good. Me and Mark met at a giant cannabis corporation.
Yeah, huge. They call it vertically integrated.
Yeah. One of the biggest cultivation facilities out here in SoCal. We were kind of bonded as being couple of the only hard workers there.
Yeah.
After both of our departures, we just stayed in touch. He was very interested in learning how to grow. One of the only people I met who was like hungry for the knowledge that is out there. So, we kind of hooked him up with some lights, a tent, and he has just taken growing to a whole new level. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you'll see a plethora of stuff in front of us, and this is all amendments for no-tilling, gardening organic. You're going to find out as you watch the channel and kind of follow us that we're trying to steer people to more natural ways of farming.
Yeah, less salts.
Less salt.
Less petroleum in your wheat.
Right. The way has been very, it's like just mimicked. People just have been pushing out these salts.
It's just adulterating the cannabis industry. It's not good. And making your own amendments is a hell of a lot less expensive.
Right. So
then it's better for you.
Help people save some money here. It takes a little more time, obviously. You're going to ferment these for days, almost weeks. So obviously, it's not like just driving down to a hydro store and buying it.
Yeah. I mean, you got anything from like 3 or 4 days with your lab to like maybe 14 days with fermented fruit juice. So it's not forever.
No.
It just takes a little time and a little attention.
Right. And this lab is looking spot on.
It's looking good.
I not gonna lie, I haven't seen lab done this clean which is your first try. Mm-hmm. Your first try. So I mean, it can be done. It can be learned. Beginners don't have to. There's so much information out there.
Yeah. You can learn anything, and that's all we're here to do is help folks learn to do it themselves.
You can make sure you support us. We have a bunch of other things that you can grab off of us that will help your garden, lights, B2 applications, enzymes, so that can keep your garden healthy. But yeah, just make sure you just stay with the community. We really want to spread the knowledge and shine a light on other growing methods. I also have been interviewing aquaculture, aquaponics leaders out here in California. But me personally, I like the soil. It's kind of where I was taught. It's where I was introduced. And I mean, if you're in a house, you can't really. It's going to be hard to retrofit an aquaculture. in your house. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain setups, I think, but not everybody has that kind of space available, and
with aquaculture, the whole idea is that you can reuse the water from the fish, but you can also eat the fish. So, you're getting so much off of the nutrients. But with this, I mean, you take your leaf waste, you can take your throw away vegetables, throw away fruits, and you can ferment them, and then it becomes food for your plants.
Yeah, you take your waste and you feed it back. And
So I guess what kind of got you interested in this method over the other ones?
I mean, I think more or less the idea that not a lot of people are doing it and not having chemicals in my medicine.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing for me is I don't know what the petroleum byproducts are going to do long term, so I don't. Yeah. It doesn't seem sustainable. I'm also kind of a tree hugger.
Nothing wrong with that.
So this is going to be better for the planet, better for everyone all around.
Self-sustaining.
Yeah.
We're all kind of getting into that mindset of health consciousness and where is our food coming from, but
where's your medicine coming from?
Yeah, where are your nutrients that are growing your food? Where are those coming from?
Exactly.
A lot of the companies from general agriculture to cannabis are running with mineralized salts, sometimes it's liquidized salts. Those salts have to be mined, transported, and as we've seen with the whole COVID thing, when a supply chain is disrupted, the cost goes up, the demand goes up, and it just causes problems, especially for big businesses. And people who are working for those businesses are now affected because of something that they can't truly control. So this way is a way that you have more control over your nutrients and a way to source it properly without
yeah. Even in the desert in the winter.
Right.
We got prickly pear from cactus that we fermented into fruit juice, weeds out of the yard, and brown sugar. It doesn't take a lot.
Super simple, man.
And what that does is it creates, it builds local microorganisms. So we're building the microorganism and the whole biosphere here is going to change.
Biosphere, rhizosphere, soil food web. Some people don't want to have earthworms in their house. They don't want to have isopods in their soil. So this is a way, by reusing your waste, by just going outside and grabbing some weeds, you can create your own food and not have a bunch of bugs laying around. Vermicompost. And it just takes a little bit of time.
Just a little bit.
I think we have a little bit to catch up on. The fruit juice and the plant juice, they offer a little bit different ratios for the plant and plant phases that they're in. I mean, obviously, your greens are going to have more nitrogen, so you're going to add those into your veg stage, whereas your fruit's going to have more sugars, more of those soluble potash, so you can add those into your later flowering stage. Phosphorus, yep. What about our labs? What are our labs? What are they doing? What are they good for?
Lab's a natural germicide. It feeds the microbiome in the soil, feeds the fungi. It boosts the immunity in the cells in the plant. You get so boosts cell growth, so you get bigger leaf, stronger stalk in the veg stage, and better fruiting in flower and fruiting stages.
And there are just so many products out there that promote the same kind of thing we just talked about, all the cellular growth. I mean, if you go to a hydroponic store, you're going to find hundreds of different products that can do what this one lab can do.
Oh, I would say it's got 1,000 different uses.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
very encouraging to see somebody out here. I've been out here in California for 3 years now, kind of preaching the whole soil game. No one is kind of going for it because the salt game is so easy just to dose out your salt.
It's just all done for you, so it's easy, I think.
Yeah.
You know, people don't have to really think about it. Well, they think they don't have to think about it.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta do a little bit. You gotta, wash the plants, but it's really just sad because that's what's happening with the industry right now.
Yeah.
We're just kind of pumping out a product. I'm a huge cannabis advocate. I do not support opioids. That's just I really don't support Western medication and ideology at all, really.
You won't find a lot of that here.
But when we have legalized this plant, we took a lot of the medical benefits away from it when we tried to commercialize it. So
that's not what it's about. It's not what it's about for these fools anymore. It's not about helping anybody. It's about getting Chad and Karen their
checks,
investment checks back.
So if you're still with us, just thank you. Please keep supporting us. We're trying to bring the whole patience over profits back. We want to keep it alive. This is medicine, and it's not just because it's cannabis. It's because it's grown properly, with oversight and a little bit of love. We're not just driving off and buying things and then throwing them in the soil, then throwing away the soil. We're reusing everything here, and there's a kind of a resonance there that happens with that. So the idea is grab a bunch of other like-minded individuals and get them on the show them our method. They can show us theirs. We can just trade information, all while the listener just gets all the information.
Learn from each other, and then y'all get to glean all the good information.
Right.
I just want to say I appreciate you. I'd be growing anyway, but I don't think I would have had near the success without some mentorship coming from you. I appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys stay tuned. This thing is completely duplicatable.
Right.
Anybody can do everything that we do.
And
no matter how much space you have.
We're going to try to show you some of the grows that we have. This is obviously one of our more successful ones here. But as we continue this journey, we're going to try to get into the aquaculture side and how we're tying in our aquacultures to our garden. But yeah, this is going to be our place where we can really spread the knowledge, answer questions. I had a lot of good mentorship in Colorado. Kind of got me in trouble because you learn how backwards it is. And on my personal blogs, you're here that I'm very passionate about this, so it's hard for me just to stand by and see a business model fail. And now we're in California, and the exact same thing happened out here that happened in Colorado. Oversaturation of the market, overregulation. It is an actual problem unless you have the deepest pockets. And we're not talking about just rich. We're talking about
stupid money.
Yeah. So hopefully any farmer,
the microphone off.
Anyone who's new to growing can learn a few things off of this. I'm not gonna keep you too long, but
hopefully people who aren't even new to growing will learn a few things, and we can learn from each other.
Right. Please. Yeah, questions are always appreciated. Let's kind of talk about this your ferments. Have you added any to the soil yet, or?
Yeah, so I've been feeding the flowering plants with fermented fruit juice for the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
They look good. Wow.
They're looking great. They're looking really good.
How does it feel to not have to need salts?
Oh, it's bananas. It feels really good. It's hard to describe. I just feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Right.
I feel like I'm doing the right thing by the plants, and it's hard to beat that feeling.
It is. And I put it on a lot of people growing. My earlier years, I leaned hard on the salts, but that's just because I really didn't explore this as much as I should have. But I have mentors, like I said, out in Colorado, who are huge no-till advocates. They've always kind of been a bug in my ear, and finally having a partner who is diving into it and seeing the successful results. If you follow our Instagrams, you'll see updated pictures of the plants, how healthy they look, how much they want the food. It's amazing. It's amazing to know to take the power back.
Yeah.
And to give your plants actual, real food.
Yeah.
It's like going organic in real life.
That's right. What's best for us? You know what I mean? Ain't Cheetos. Cheetos are good, but it's not the best thing for us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, fuck. Stop giving your weed Cheetos.
Basically, that is the idea of this. If we can just get people from dumping synthetics. I mean, we know. You have to throw that stuff away. You have to drain it. It all goes somewhere.
It's going right back into the environment.
So, in the industry right now, there's a big crop steering wave. Everyone wants to pump salts into their plants. They want the biggest yield. They want the fattest nugs. They want
everybody wants big colas.
We're finding out through multiple research avenues and from personal experiences that that's not the best for the consumer.
Nope. It's not the best for the plant.
It's not.
And if it ain't the best for the plant, it's probably not the best for the consumer.
This is a healing plant. I think it will be very beneficial for everyone to rethink the strategy of how we're actually cultivating this. We go to these giant facilities. It's so regulated that you have to log all your waste. But here, in a home grow, we can take our waste and reuse it.
Yeah, there's zero waste right now.
It's nuts. Zero waste and zero cost for supplies. Well, yeah.
Dollars. Like dollars. Literal, like dollars. Like.
It's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of my past colleagues online still, and they are so hyped about their product. And I'm hyped for them, but at the same time, we all know that's not getting sold. It's being branded, it's being marketed, but...
And then it's just sitting in a warehouse because nobody wants it. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's true. It just goes from one dispensary to another.
And a lot of the people who don't understand the California market, a lot of these buyers, they're not selling it to a dispensary. They're taking it out of state. And most times, probably overseas, where the price is way higher. And a lot of the people who are getting these products are getting two like a year, 2 year old product because it's just sitting there. I think the funniest thing when I talk to people about smoking is like their preference. Everyone wants a Kush. Well, I think everyone wants to feel tired because they're used to it, because that's what the weed does when it sits for a year and a half. Is it just makes you tired?
It just makes you tired all the time. Right.
Good weed should taste good and should have good medical effects, I believe.
Agreed.
What are you growing right now?
We got in flower, we got apples and bananas and purple cream.
Sheesh.
And the purple cream is about probably 10 to 14 days out. It's almost done. And the apple banana is probably like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Before it's done. Maybe a little less.
I still have.
And then in veg, we've got Pheno Hunt going with Daydream Genie and Cataract.
Yes. I gave you
Cataract number 3.
Yes. Cataracts and Daydream Genie from Heart and Soil.
Heart and Soil.
Shout out Brett in Colorado.
They look good too. 10 for 10, Brett.
And Brett is a no-till farmer. He did a pheno hunt down in Peru looking for landrace strains. So his strains have always been very rigorous and reliable. So another thing about the industry is with seed makers, people just pop seeds and then they want people to buy them, and it's just all the same still.
Where's it coming from?
Where is it coming
Salt
from?
plants.
Salsa plants. So these no-till seeds do have a little bit more of a success rate, I believe. You know, science doesn't allow us to do these kind of studies yet, but
Try for yourself.
tell us about your problems in your garden. How much problems have you had with some of these plants?
The only problems I've had have been self-imposed. I've had a few pH issues with the soil.
Okay.
That was from overwatering.
Sure.
And I've had fungus gnats try to pop up a couple times, but nothing successful for them.
That's good.
Yeah.
Trying to promote the idea that a healthy soil environment can deter, problems.
Yeah, and I'm not, there's a billion bugs around us, and I got no bugs in my grow, so.
Right. We're trying.
And I don't know pesticides. No,
pesticides.
nothing.
Good. We don't want to spray.
No spray.
I know that it's practice now in the industry, and everyone has kind of waved it off as a normalized practice, but your cannabis should be good enough that you don't have to smoke a ton of it.
Yeah.
And it should be grown well enough that you shouldn't have to spray it.
Yeah.
It's a tough task, man.
Yeah. Well, monocrops and
Right.
got to get some diversity in the garden.
Yep, having cover plants, having banker plants that just it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, and giving a shit. You have to care.
Hopefully, if you're still with us, you'll like, subscribe, share, please share these. We want to help. We want to be a voice for people trying to learn. We want to show them that it's not hard. I think a lot of people think you have to have a green thumb to do this, and in the age of information,
No, you don't need a green thumb. You just need to be willing to listen to somebody else. That's all.
And I still ask questions. I'm 34. I have mentors. I have 3 mentors that still talk my ear off, and I need it. I need to. let's talk about the medical benefits of this plant, since everyone out here just wants to sell it for $600 a pound backdoor.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, obviously when I was 15 and I started smoking weed, I had no correlation between the plant and its medicinal benefits. Although, not to get too crazy into it or off on any real crazy tangents, but being 41 and learning about my own mental health and neurodivergence, like I realized that when I was introduced to cannabis, that it was a lifesaver.
Right.
Like,
Seriously. Preach.
I like looking, reflecting on my, like, especially like my teenage years,
right.
and trying to do that minus weed, I think would have been more difficult than it was.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
You know, I think like when I was in my early 20s, I had a little hiatus from weed.
Mm-hmm.
And I can look back at that period too and see a lot of mania.
Yeah.
That could have been avoided.
Yeah, man.
With a little medicine.
A little bit of grace.
Yeah. And you know, decisions were made during that time that, you know, could be regrettable, but you know, we different place, different circumstances. I got reintroduced to the plant in my early 20s, almost mid 20s, and I mean, my kids would probably tell you this. I don't think that I would be as good of a parent without cannabis.
Okay. All right.
I think it definitely helps me be a better parent. Helps me be present. Helps me be
right.
Helps me be fun and silly.
Right.
Sometimes when I need to be fun and silly instead of serious.
Yeah.
Can get me out of my head.
That's good.
But I mean, more than anything, you know, I use the plant for chronic pain.
Yeah.
You know, aches and pains.
Yep.
They don't go away, but
I hear that.
but they're certainly eased with
right.
with the benefits from the terpenes and all the cannabinoids.
So we're looking at benefits for mental health, benefits for physical health, lifestyle changes. We're in an age right now, because we live in a society that just kind of pushes a narrative. So you got huge moguls out there, Burner, Gavita, all these top names, and they're almost setting the narrative. But like this plant, and Burner has said it, he doesn't say it all the time, but he has said it, like this plant with psilocybin and other natural, it can heal you.
Yeah.
It actually
I believe that
healing,
100%.
right? I just think we kind of lost that
And
idea.
I think there's a lot of science and a lot of science out there to back it up, and more coming all the time.
All the time. I'm not a scientist,
Me neither, so I won't be quoting anything. Unless I have it to read from, and I don't.
But, and we do know that, you know, everyone is different. Just like, you know,
absolutely,
every plant is different. So certain people aren't going to react a certain way to the plant that Mark and I
definitely not
react to.
But I don't think that I think it'd be helpful to anybody, but nothing's for everybody, and
right.
That doesn't mean that there aren't natural remedies out there that can help you with whatever your problems are,
right?
Whatever issues you have. There
Doesn't have to be
there
cannabis.
are thousands and thousands and thousands of medicinal plants.
All right.
Cannabis is just one. Super plant.
You'll see me talk about moringa a couple times. I'll bring up different flowers that my mentor brings back from Africa that we drink for tea. Just stuff, that's everywhere on the ground. Has a potential for medical use. We just
Shit, dandelions.
right.
They've been telling us it's a weed. Get rid of them.
But so, if you know me or if you've been around my background, I've played professional football. I've talked about it in my other vlogs. Being in that kind of environment, that kind of stress, physical and mental. I use cannabis obviously to alleviate that, and it was not the best decision for me in a business sense, but I cannot regret anything. And the more that I dive into the plant, the more I realize how we may have just got a few things wrong. Maybe. I'm not saying that our society is not a great society. I just think that there are a few aspects we are approaching this incorrectly.
Yeah.
Big Pharma's one.
Farming.
Yeah, general farming practices.
Yeah.
Another one. Just our lack of information that they're giving us, but at the same time blasting us with tabloids and.
There's a lot to entertain and distract us.
Yeah. So we're trying to give a sense that not everything's bad, but we can approach it differently.
Yeah, you can take back a little bit of control if you want.
If you want it, you can.
Yeah.
You don't have to be so burdened by society that you can't make your own medicine.
Yeah, and there's mental health benefits in just making
it.
The fermentation.
Right?
Just slowing down. Just slowing down enough to pull some weeds out of the ground and chop them up.
Right?
Mix them with some sugar.
Getting outside, touching grass.
Yeah.
So we hope that you guys are kind of resonating with that idea. In the past, with my profession and just the pressure of it, I've turned into a very stern and intense person, but we don't have that much control.
No.
I mean, we're on this planet, we're living it.
Yeah. It's a good life, and it can be fun.
It is fun.
But you can have it all decided for you.
You can have somebody, yes.
And it feels great. No. But you're not making
Either
the deal.
way.
Yeah.
Either way. If you want
You do you.
society to dictate how you think, we want to support that, obviously.
But this just may not be...
It may not be the podcast
This may not
for
be
you.
the place for you.
Because it's not... The things we're going to talk about here are going to be a little bit...
But maybe it is, because maybe you'll be open to hearing a different perspective that way.
Yeah. And learning how to live with other people with different perspectives.
Yeah. We all need a little more of that.
Yeah. I really don't judge people. I try not to impose my own will anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty...
It's easy to judge.
It's easy to want to have it your way.
Yeah. It's easy to think that your way is the right way.
It's easy to think that your way is the right way.
Yeah.
Especially with all the information we have.
Yeah.
But someone may be right next to you who doesn't think that.
Yeah. Well, and if you always think that your way is the right way, you're going to have a hard time learning some shit.
Right.
But But that's cool, you know what I mean?
You may not learn.
Yeah.
You may not learn.
But that's okay, because there is a world that will let that be possible.
Yes. There's a world. There's a place for that.
And you can just live your life.
It may not be here, but there is a place. When you interact with us, please just let us know what you think. We want to hear your side too. You know, your knowledge. Hopefully, our knowledge can collectively be shared to the next generation, and it won't be as stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. If anything, let's help people de-stress their lives a little bit.
Right. Gardening, creating tinctures, amendments, all this stuff has scientific proof now. You just have to look for it.
Yeah, it's out there. A lot. And more all the time.
So, kind of bringing in a little science and spiritual aspect to this. We just have to be a little open-minded and...
Yeah, that's it. Just open your mind.
So, during the course of our podcast, I think in the next couple ones that we're going to talk about, just more of this. More of the correlation of the plant between a human, our experiences of having certain strains or just all the lingo, and at the same time some of our growing experiences. We're going to try to have some other growers on here, breeders on here. We're eventually going to do some giveaways, but you got to give us a following first. So make sure you share, like, retweet, repost. We live in a society, so whatever it is that you guys are doing, just help us out.
Yeah, and it's all love. Let's get to know each other.
Right. Let's, interact. Please.